Okay, so I want you to think about one of these brain starter questions. I'm about to show you one more thing related to color, and it is my absolute favorite thing. Going forward, I will only use this new thing, and in general, I just think it's better and easier. So think about, what color do you think RGB 22882 is? Remember, it's red, green, blue. And then the second question is, if you type three random numbers, can you always predict what the color will look like? So the first one, just so you know, it's this question, this color. Now, I personally argue that, and I've done this in all years, unfortunately. If I'm still here in school, then I'll do it with you. If not, I have always offered up $5 for anyone who can correctly guess the exact numbers in this color. And this is exactly my point, is it is near impossible. I dare say it like basically is. It's 0.0000001% chance of you guessing this color based on what you see. And that's why I think RGB isn't great. So I think the only positive for RGB is that the numbers are all 255. So you have 255, 255, 255, and you don't have to think about what they're out of. You also have an opacity that's out of 255. Now, there's a way better option though, and it's HSB. So let's talk about it. HSB, it still has three numbers, or four if you want an opacity. The first number stands for hue. Hue means color. I think of it as like the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The second number is saturation. This one, so the first number is 0 to 360. The second number is 0 to 100. And this is how much color. Imagine if you had like a see-through water bottle that started as a just regular water bottle, and you added a certain number of drops of food coloring. So if I was doing red, I added 100 drops of the food coloring, and it would be pretty bright. If I only added like 10, it would be less bright. Brightness is also 0 to 100. So we have 360, 100, and 100. And this is how much light. Is it a dark color, 0, or is it really bright, 100? So this is what it looks like. And the opacity is between 0 and 1. Now, it is annoying that you have to remember it's out of 360, it's out of 100, it's out of 100, it's out of 1. But overall, I think it's so much better because this is the hue spectrum. So it goes from 0 all the way to 360. And just take a second to think about if you could come up with a hue for all of these colors. I could do 0 for red. I could maybe do 270 or 280 for purple. Green, maybe I'm going to do 140, which would be like here. Yellow, maybe I'm going to do like 50. Pink, I really like 330 personally for pink. Blue, maybe I do 230, and orange, I do 30. Here are also some other ones. That would represent my first number, my hue. Now, HSV, they put it in the color picker, but also I just want you to recognize that the hue is the color that you pick here. The saturation is going in this direction, and the brightness is going in the up and down direction. So if I wanted to make a vibrant color, I would pick my hue, and then I'd put a high saturation and a high brightness. If I wanted a pastel color, I'd do a low saturation and a high brightness. If I wanted a dark color, I would do a high saturation and a low brightness. And if I wanted a muted color, I'd do low saturation and low brightness. So I just want to show you that this is an example of hue versus saturation versus brightness. You'll notice that I have filled with red, and I've given it 100 and 100 for saturation and brightness. I still kept it red, but I brought the brightness down. I still kept it red, but I brought the saturation down. And I kept it red, but I dropped both down. So we have a dark color, a pastel color, and a muted color. So what you're going to try and do today is you are going to try and open up this link, which is very similar to something you've done before. And I've given you some notes as well. And you're going to try and make a neon rainbow fill with a dark rainbow stroke. and then a pastel fill with a muted rainbow stroke. I'm going to leave this up because I think it might have been helpful for you. Let me know what questions you have and really give this a shot because I promise it is the best way to do color.